Day 109 of the carnivore diet. How much did I lose this week? Welcome back. If you're new, I'm Karyn and I've been on this carnivore diet weight loss journey since July 5th. I am 58 years old and I have struggled with my weight my entire life. I am the classic yo-yo dieter. I tried everything under the sun. But now it's time to finally lose this weight for good and go into retirement with a much healthier outlook. So I've cut out about 98% of the processed foods and all of the processed sugar from my diet. I'm on a near zero carbohydrate diet, which means I eat a higher fat content and middle of the road protein content, and I am limiting my dairy. Not because I can't have dairy on this eating plan, but because dairy doesn't sit well with my body. I get a little bit sluggish and weight loss is a little bit harder, so I try to limit my dairy. In this video, I'm going to share with you some encouragement, how much weight I have lost this week, and what I have been eating this week, including a new recipe that was a big hit with both Dan and I will share that at the end, so stick with me for that. I was reminded when I woke up this morning that I am now waking up with no joint pain. And that's such a huge win for me. Even my hands ached before the carnivore diet. Now I have no problems whatsoever with joint pain, and it's just really freeing. And I started thinking, how amazing is it just changing the way you eat and how the body responds to that. Just taking out all of the junk and all of the sugar has really made a world of difference for me, and it really can for anyone. Things that you have lived with for so many years, like joint pain, conditions that you have that can be healed just by the way we eat. These chronic conditions are things that modern medicine throws pharmaceuticals at, and a lot of times they're not even that effective for the condition, let alone reversing the condition. And I don't think we're told often enough that just by changing our diet and taking all of the junk and the sugar out of it, how that can actually heal and reverse those conditions that we've had for so many years. And then we don't have to put all of the chemicals and synthetic drugs and things into our body, and those things really don't belong there. And then I got to thinking, what will it be like in another 100 days? Will I wake up with more of a spring in my step? Will I have less time actually becoming awake in the morning instead of having to just chill for a little bit and wake up? Will I be awake right away? Will I need less sleep? I'm so excited to see where I'll be after the next 100 days. And I just want to remind you that if you are on this journey with me and you are also on the carnivore or ketovore or keto, and you have a day where you slip up, remember that is not a testament to how weak you are, but how strong the addiction is to the processed foods and the sugar. We are battling a strong addiction, and we're not going to be perfect all the time, but pick yourself up, get yourself back on the very next meal, and keep going. So how much did I lose this week? I lost 1.2 pounds this week, still going in the right direction. That makes my total 32.5 pounds. So in another 17.5 pounds, I will have reached my first 50-pound goal. I have 4 of those. So I'm looking to knock out that first one pretty soon. I was a little naughty this week. I had more dairy than I should have. I had some cream cheese, I had some mozzarella cheese, and I even had 3 slices of that dirty American cheese. Why did I do all this? Well, there is a reason. I was having more cravings this week. I'm not sure why, but I was having some cravings this week, and rather than go off plan, I wanted to keep it carnivore, so I cheated. It is cheating for me to have a lot of dairy, so I decided I would cheat with the dairy, and that would still technically be on plan. And it kept me from eating the truly bad things. So what have I been eating this week? And then I'll share the recipe with you. If you didn't see my last video, I did make some braised oxtail this week, and I put out a video on how I did that. I will link to that at the end if you didn't see that. It was tender and delicious, so check that out. One of the nights I had picanha fried in bacon grease, which next to ribeye or a really good New York strip, picanha is like my go-to. It's really good. One of the nights I did get 3 burger patties from Hardee's and actually got it with American cheese on it. We did go out one night this week to a restaurant, and I got a really, really good, I was surprised it was so good. I got a 16-ounce ribeye steak, and I also had some smoked chicken wings with it. They were not breaded. And now I want to share the recipe that I tried this week that I think you will like too. I found a recipe for carnivore pizza crust that only has 3 ingredients. I was really surprised at the texture of the crust, and it even had a little crunch to it. So I want to share it with you. So if you want to make it, you're going to need 1 large can of chicken. The large can that I'm using is 12.5 ounces. You'll need a cup of shredded mozzarella cheese. I tried to get some fresh mozzarella and shred it myself, but they were out, so I had to use the bagged. And 2 eggs. So all you're going to do is beat the eggs in the bottom of a bowl, then drain the chicken and shred it up a little bit with a fork. Add that to the bowl, and then add your cup of mozzarella cheese. Now, if it looks a little too wet, add some more cheese or chicken to it. If it looks a little bit too dry, add a little bit more egg. Mine looked a little wet, so I added extra mozzarella cheese to it. But the consistency that you see here is about what it should be like. Then spread that into the bottom of 2 8 or 9-inch oven-safe non-stick skillets. I'm using my cast iron skillets, or you could just use a pan that has sides on it. You want something with sides so that the cheese doesn't spread out a lot when it's baking. You want it to kind of stay in place and just bake in place. And then I put this in the oven at 450 degrees for 10 to 15 minutes. So you want the top part to start becoming brown before you pull those out. And I would say that I had these at 1/4 of an inch or less thick when I spread these in the bottom of the pan. So the next thing I did is I made a sauce of cream cheese. I heated it up just a bit in the microwave to get it to more of a spreadable consistency. I added a little bit of pizza seasoning to Dan's cream cheese. I had about a tablespoon of the cream cheese that had the spice in it on my pizza, but then the rest was just regular cream cheese. Dan wanted chicken, sausage, bacon, and onions on his pizza, and I just had sausage and pepperoni on mine. So a little bit more mozzarella cheese went onto the top, and then these went under the broiler this time until the top was melted and everything was heated through and it was browned on the top. So look how this came out. And check out the consistency of the crust. It was probably the most bread-like crust that I have had so far on the carnivore diet. It was delish, and I hope you try that recipe. So easy to whip up and do. So how are you doing? Are you still going? Are you gonna try the pizza crust recipe? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for being you, and thank you for being here to follow my journey. Remember to make something good happen for someone else this week, because it'll make you feel good too. This week, midweek, my homesteading video is going to be on making bone broth. So if you want to learn how you can easily make your own bone broth and save money over those high prices at the grocery store, check me out midweek. See you then.